Hello, I am eating pancit. Hi, welcome back to my channel. I have been wanting to do this video for a long time just because it's something that I've really grown to love over the years. I made it a goal to read at least 12 books a year, so that means one book a month. And so far, I can honestly say that I've been on track to reaching that goal. Like during January, I started reading like 4 books all at once just because I was that hyped. I was like so hyped in achieving this goal that I just... So before I get started, I wanted to talk about how I started reading and where I came from. Reading was a better use of my time than going on social media. So that's honestly why I haven't been on any type of social media for, wow, it's been like a year. I recommend people to read so that we could stimulate our minds a lot more this way. You feel me? I just want to make a disclaimer that I am not a librarian. Disclaimer that all of these are from my opinions. I know that people have enjoyed some of these books or whatnot. It was about 2019 when I started reading. My friend actually gave me one of my first self-help books, and I can honestly say that it really changed my life. Okay, so it's this book right here. This is The Power of Habit. And Claudia, if you're watching this, thank you so much for this book. I realized that maybe there's answers to the things that I've been struggling with, or there's answers to what I think could really benefit me for my future. That idea of wanting to read more started. And I just want to tell you guys a funny story that I still remember to this day. Well, it's not kind of funny because it's kind of sad. When I was in middle school, I think I was about 8th grade. So I had just moved schools. So I came from a different district and then went to a new one. And so I had to take this test so that they could see how competent I was with my reading skills. Let me tell y'all, my reading score was the score of a 4th grader. Like, I was an 8th grader and my score was a 4th grader. That was so embarrassing. What made it so much worse was that we used to have these folders where we would take it to the library. That was like your pass to go to the library, and it just shows right in front of like the folder what level you were in reading. And like if they're shuffling through that thing, it literally says Dana Felipe grade 4 reading level. It was just so embarrassing for me, and I think that's when I started to get really insecure with my reading skills. I think that just really played a part in where I am now, because I can honestly say I be reading so fast nowadays. Like I'm like on this page right here, and like in 30 seconds I'm like in this page. Like it's just so crazy how fast I can read now. So aside from this book, which got me into reading, I would say this was one of the second books I've ever read, and this book really changed my life. This one was one of the books that Shay Mitchell just swore by, and I was like, I need to know what this is all about. And after reading it, I feel more aligned with who I am. There's 4 agreements to living a more wisdomful life. One of the agreements is to be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. So I always reach for this book whenever I feel that I just need more of like that guidance from my inner self. That's kind of corny, but so this is the first book I read during January. This one is called Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. If you know Jay, I mean, if you have stumbled upon Jay's interviews or videos on LinkedIn or on Instagram, you know that he is a very inspirational guy, and he's basically a social activist. Whenever he makes these speeches and everything, it just feels so powerful just hearing it from his mouth. This book talks about how we can train our mind for peace and purpose every single day. My favorite part of this book is when he talks about finding your dharma, and what that means is finding your purpose. Why are you so excited to wake up in the morning? Like, finding that part of yourself is what's gonna help your life feel more purposeful. I took a bunch of notes. What I do is I just like write what I thought was very inspirational. So you can see all of my little tabs on here. Really love this book. Next book I've been reading is this book right here, which is The Magic of Thinking Big. So the reason why I picked up this book is because of the title. Obviously, it sounds very captivating. I will say though that this book is quite old. It's from early 1900s, and so most of like the ideologies, all of the ideas about success is just very surface level, where it's like, oh, money, having a great job, all of that stuff, finding your soulmate. It's just very surface level success compared to Jay's book, where it's very more purposeful, inner work type of feel of success and defining your success. So I thought that was really interesting. Not saying that this book wasn't good, but I'm saying that I do prefer more of like Jay's style of reading. Next book is this one right here, which is Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin. This book was given to me by one of my good friends in college, and I'm gonna say that this is one of my staple money books. Sometimes when we think of money, we think of the surface level type of money, where money is just paper or an exchange of goods, but this book really helps you get deep into the whole changing your beliefs about money. So here's the only thing you can say that is always true for you 100% of the time. Money is something you trade your life energy for. This graph right here just scares me. It just scares me. Where your age, the human life expectancy, can go up to about 80 years old, let's say, just about roughly. And your average remaining life expectancies of how many hours you have left just decreases. And it's just so scary to think how we waste our time thinking about things that are not important. I will be reading this book every single year just so I can get my shit together. Basically, the balls are moving. I'm taking this massage back. I'm taking it back. Period. End of discussion. End of discussion. Oh, yes. Yes. The next set of books are gonna be for my fiction peeps. So the first book is gonna be this one right here, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I realized that just reading so many nonfiction books could be overwhelming sometimes, and I kind of need that balance from a fiction book. It Ends With Us is a romance novel, and it follows the story of Lily, who is the main character, and how she navigates through her own personal experiences with her parents' relationship and navigating her own personal relationships with Ryle, which is the guy that she was dating, and how she wait, hold up. Ryle, she navigates her relationship with Ryle, who is also one of the starring characters, and she first experience with, she goes back in time reading her old letters. This book does talk about domestic abuse and physical abuse, so if you are not about that, I would definitely just caution y'all when reading this book because it is kind of traumatic. Favorite section of the book is definitely the epilogue, where the actual author Colleen talks about her personal experiences, and just seeing how she got that inspiration to create this really great book is just very inspirational for me. So the next book is The People We Meet on Vacation. So basically it follows the story of Poppy and how she's trying to learn and understand herself before getting into any type of relationship, and it's just one of those relaxing books that you could read. It doesn't take too much of your emotions, like it's not stressful in any way. So if you guys are having a spa or are just relaxing, then I think this is a good book to pick up. Lastly, the book that I am currently reading that is a fiction is this book right here, which is called Room. It's also made into a movie. The only thing is that it's kind of slow in the beginning, but I'm gonna definitely work my way up to reading the more interesting parts of the book. This book is about a mother that has been kidnapped, and she has raised her son in a room, which is like 4 walls, and all the son ever knows about is everything inside that room. So he has never seen the outside world before, and he's kind of content and happy with where he lives. But the mother is trying to escape, trying to get her son to escape and get them out of there. I've just seen a couple of the trailers. Yeah, I am going to continue reading this. So that is basically all of the books that I've read so far. I do want to read more, obviously, as I'm trying to read 12 books in a year, but I do see myself reading at least 2 books a month. I feel like that's the pace that I want to go because I want to outperform myself. Yeah, if you have any recommendations about what books I should read, it could be fiction, non-fiction, autobiographies, definitely comment them down below. If you really want to get into reading but don't know where to start, I would recommend starting with a subject that you are genuinely interested in. There's so many summaries that you could look up online to see if maybe this might gauge your attention or gauge your interest. That's definitely how I started reading. I know that books can be really expensive, so there are alternatives. A great option is to purchase a Kindle, and all you gotta do is go online, search the book. Most of the time there's a PDF version of it, so you don't really have to pay to get the book. I hope this video was helpful to you guys and helps motivate you guys as well to start reading. And if you currently do read, I hope that this gives you guys inspiration in what book you should read next. Next. Oh my god, my battery just died. What would you like to say to the live studio audience?